Tyson is in off-season mode still. We'll get him going. We'll get him
Are
going.
the objectives the same going into a game against like a Villanova as opposed to maybe an overmatched team that you're going to face a couple of times in this preseason?
I think early in the season, yes, because you're still trying to make it about you. You know, it's more about what you're trying to do. Obviously, when you're going against a team, there's certain things you're trying to take away. But I think on the whole, it's more about us trying to establish the identity of this team, particularly on the defensive end of the floor, which I thought we did a good job in both games of that.
What were the goals specifically for tonight's game that you guys accomplished?
Yeah, so, Nugent is a really good player. I thought we kind of wiped him out, honestly. I mean, he's a guy that shot 7 threes a game last year at 43%. I mean, that put him in the 90-some-odd percentile in the country. And so we keyed in on him, not even just to try to make his shots contested, just not even let him get threes off, which we did a good job of. He only got 3 of them off. So there was a couple other game plan specific things I thought we did a good job of, but we've been all over these guys about communicating and talking to each other, and I thought there was a lot of carryover with that.
Any concern about offensive rebounds by the other team? You had a little bit of an issue with Villanova. I realized tonight it didn't have any effect on the outcome, but they did have some.
Yeah, I mean, yes, definitely. I mean, it's something that we're talking to the coaches about quite a bit. I mean, they missed, 19 threes, so a lot of those are coming off like crazy misses, so there's going to be a lot of opportunity. I'm not smart enough to do the offensive rebounding percentage based on how many misses there was, but it's definitely an area we need to clean up and be better with. As we start playing, more athletic and bigger teams, especially if you forecast to the UConn thing. I mean, that's something that they do, that they do well. So we'll have to get that addressed.
Richie got off to a hot start. Do you think it was just him trying to make up for lost time after he was so ill on Monday?
I mean, I just think that's who we all know. That's who Richie is. I said to him when we were walking out of the locker room, he looked like himself. And so I think he's been trying to find his footing with these new teammates, and obviously the health going into the last game was not great. So, I honestly have not worried one iota about him. He's a great player, and he's going to be great for us this year. And tonight was definitely, I think for me, what I expected to play like.
What's your goal as far as threes go, makes and takes?
I think I don't have one because I think it depends on how you're getting guarded. We saw this last year. We came out and we established that we were going to space the floor and we were going to try to get a lot of threes up, and then teams started to try to guard the three-point line. And last year, sometimes it was effective because we didn't have that many downhill attackers. This year, you saw it in the Nova game. Watching the film, they're literally face guarding 2 guys at the three-point line while AJ just goes down the middle of the lane and dunks, right? And so I think it's a pick your poison type thing. I think as obviously we're playing a lot of guys right now. I think when our rotation starts to tighten up, we'll have some potent shooting out there combined with the downhill threats of AJ and Rob, and obviously Kaba's rim pressure with his rolls and so forth. So I think it's going to be a pick your poison thing, and we'll have to see how teams are trying to guard us. Now that being said, it's in my nature to try to get up a lot of threes, but not at the cost of taking, not taking rim shots if they're there.
You guys announced that Nate Pickens out for the season before the game. Just get your reaction to losing him without actually seeing him play.
Yeah, unfortunate. He's a guy we brought here for a reason because he fits with this particular group really well because he can shoot and he can guard, and so it'll be a big miss for us. He was one of our main kind of portal targets of a guy that helps complement stars. So it'll open up the door for some other people. I thought Dominique Diamande came in tonight in that space and thought he opened the game up a little bit. Obviously his athleticism was on full display, and so it'll just kind of open up the door for other guys. But obviously we wish Nate well and look forward to kind of helping him rehab.
You guys had over 60 points in the paint, bunch of dunks. What have you seen from your team being able to get downhill, attack the rim, and just play down the lane?
Yeah, I thought even in the Villanova game we got there a lot. Now we didn't finish at the rate we did tonight. Obviously different level of athlete with them, but that was something we did a lot of work on this week was finishing. And I thought we were going in without a plan a lot prior to this game. Thought tonight you saw some really good interior footwork by our guards driving. Obviously AJ's a load when he gets downhill, so athletic. And so I think this notion of like paint finishing and just paint decisions, to me, is probably it's the thing for me that's gonna move the pendulum the most for us this season. If we can figure out how to be great rim finishers and great paint decision makers, we're gonna be really, really good offensive team. If not, we'll be okay because we have talent. But it's really, to me, that's the thing we got to get right more than anything.
AJ had a few nice moments handling the ball today. So what's your confidence level with him handling it and maybe playing point forward throughout the season?
Extremely high. You know, I mean, we constructed this team the way we did for a reason. I've had a lot of success in my career with kind of not worrying about who's the quote-unquote point guard and just giving your most dynamic guys the ball in space and letting them do their thing. And I thought his was on full display at times tonight. And he's gifted, man. I mean, he's really unique. It's hard. You don't find guys with his size and athleticism that can handle like he can. So, I mean, he's talked about a lot for a reason because he's a great player.
Last question.
The length of this team was really obvious tonight, just getting in passing lanes and causing trouble defensively. What have you seen defensively in that area that stood out to you so far?
Yeah, I think it can be suffocating, you know, at times. I thought we forced 15 turnovers. We forced quite a few the other night against Villanova as well. So that's obviously something that was not a strength of ours last year. We definitely wanted to recruit to that a little bit more. And so I think we're going to be able to get a lot more stops and be able to run off of our defense and have some exciting plays in transition like we saw tonight. So excited about what we can do with that moving forward.
All right, we have one more from Josh. Sorry, that's much more missed an early season.
Come on, Ty. No, I'm joking.
How does showcasing AJ Devonta's growth help in recruiting players who want to get to the NBA?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think it's been talked about a lot, you know, led by me. I mean, there's no secret what we're trying to do here as far as get high in talent, help guys get to the NBA. So, you know, Yegor obviously was a poster child of that. And, you know, AJ's the next in line, you know, along with Richie and other guys too, I think, that are on our team that can play in the NBA. So I think it's very easy to tell a story to some of the super talented players in high school ranks because it's a proof of concept. You know, it's something you guys heard me go on that it's not hypothetical rant last year. I mean, it really, at this point, it's not with high-end talent. And so I think that really kind of, I don't know, gives a lot of credibility to, I think, of what we're trying to do here with guys like him.
Thanks, guys.